Australian. Good day, everyone. Welcome to another random chat with Dade and Jude. I'm Dade.
And I'm Jude.
And today we are talking about something that I do often, but I don't always want to do it often. That sounds a bit weird.
It does, especially when you know the topic that's coming.
I know. What do we talk about today, Jude?
Today we're talking about jobs.
Yes.
Past jobs, present jobs.
Past jobs, how we apply for jobs, the job interviewing process.
It's broad.
It's
and
very
it's
broad.
wide.
Yeah, but I think the reason this came about is because throughout this podcast journey, we keep going, when did you do that?
Yeah.
When did you do that? So we decided to actually just make a podcast about, so we could just find out more about each other, and you're coming on the journey with us. But I think we're bringing other elements as well.
Absolutely. It was quite a fun one to actually go back through time and think, gosh, what are all those kind of weird and wonderful jobs that I did before I had a proper job? You know, the things you do when you're in your teens, the things you do when you're just trying to figure yourself out and find out what it is that you want to do with your life. You know, it's been quite fun going back in time.
What was your first job?
I was thinking about this. I think my first ever job was probably a babysitting job for some like neighbours, which I think is quite standard and classic with most people, girls especially. Say again?
Avoided tax, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, cash in hand all the way, right? But it's also child labour when you think of it, because I was
right?
about 14. But I think my first proper job was when I worked in the school shop, as it was called. It was the newsagents right by the alleyway of the school where I used to walk down to get to school. And it was a thoroughfare for all of the kids coming from the primary schools and the secondary schools in and around the area. You just would walk down this alleyway and there was this little newsagents. And I got myself a job there.
We are so alike.
Oh my God, tell me not. Really?
My first job was, first of all, paperboy, like at the newsagents down the road, which then I started to work at behind the counter.
Amazing. How is this possible?
I know, right? I was like,
live.
And it was also one of those newsagents where you used to have to like weigh out sweets.
Yes.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
So we're thinking UK newsagents, viewers, wherever you're listening. So if you've ever been to a UK confectionery store or newsagent, this is where we're talking about. Yeah, no, it was a fun job.
Did you have friends come visit you in said shop?
Yes, because most probably I could. We used to remember you used to be able to sell cigarettes.
That was where I was going with it. Remember the packs of 10?
That's where I was going to go. Packs of 10 cigarettes.
Like
I used to be a smoker many years. And yes, we actually used to sell single cigarettes to people as well.
Single, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the things I loved the most was people would come in and ask for cigars that I'd never even heard of. And the one that always used to get me was the Cafe Creme.
No,
do you remember the Cafe Creme in the tin?
In the tin.
I used to be looking going, I know B&H, I know Silk Cut, I know Marlborough, but I don't know what Cafe Creme is.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those first jobs. I think after that, I did a little stint at a doctor's surgery because Mum worked at a doctor's surgery, and I used to do the admin folding of, years ago in doctors in the UK, everything used to be paper-based. So I used to be able to then fold all of the records against the person's profile. So.
Wow, and then they would all be, you remember you walked into the reception of the doctor's office and they would all just be there on shelves, like thousands and thousands of like alphabetized folders. Yeah.
My vet, on a very different tangent, my vet today is still like that. Refuses like kind of keep online records.
Kind of like that though, because it's, it is what it is, and you know what you need immediately. There's going to be no technical failure or issue by doing so. I kind of find that quite nurturing to some extent.
It's very endearing.
Very much so.
And what do you do after the news agency?
So after the news agents, I think that was probably when I was going through. So I've probably around like secondary school, done my GCSEs. Can't really remember much about my late teens and early 20s, if I'm honest.
Why is that, Why's that?
Well, I was very busy studying, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. And then obviously went to uni. And that's when my next memories kick in of when I was at uni and the things I would do just to kind of like have a bit of cash in, you know, in my hand. And one of the weirdest ones for me was somehow in the university I went to, there was this really massive town and they had this massive like not stadium, like kind of like a hall that with a stage that could be used for a number of things. It could be a theatre production, it could be a club night. It had like, you know, one of those assembly halls type of things. It was called the Colosseum. Somehow I got myself in with the guys that used to put on all of the production and do all the rigging and the stage lifting. Like, you know, I'm a strong girl, but I used to go and do that and prepare an event with this team of people and do whatever needed to be done for like $200, 200 quid rather. And it was brilliant. So I would just, whenever they needed me, I'd like call them up and I say, do you need me to come and do anything? And they'd be like, yeah, we've got this event on. And I would just go off and do it.
Wow.
So that was kind of like, I know, but that was a lot of money. It still is a lot of money, but it was a lot of money when I was a student.
Yeah.
And I'm living off beans on toast, and proper student diet, you know. So yeah, that was a really, and I can't for the life of me remember how I got there, but that happened.
Well, that's the thing is you just don't know. Like I ended up, I was still in high school, maybe college, and I worked for a DIY store for a while called Homebase.
Oh,
It used to have this horrible green, bright green and bright orange uniforms,
yeah.
even green pants. Right.
Great branding though, because as soon as you said the word home base, I remembered it was always associated with Sainsbury's and it was a green and orange outfit.
Do you know what one of my jobs was there, Jude?
Oh, tell me.
I was the woodcutter.
Were you? Wow.
Literally, somebody, like I must have been like 16. You know those big chainsaw kind of woodcutter things? I'm doing that. And I'm like, look now, I'm sure there must be some more regulations, but it's like, hey, can I have a bit of MDF kind of cut between here and here?
You're
And
that guy.
like, yeah.
I love that. I need a guy like you to be, I'm always needing to go down to Home Depot and get stuff cut like that, but I'd much rather talk to you and get you to do it for me.
I can do it now, Jude.
No. Did you get to use all those special tools that we used to use in CDT at school? Like, you know, those things that you could cut like shapes out of and holes out of. I forget the name of them.
Yeah, we didn't go to that level. That was
Okay.
it was just like everyone just cutting things, or like if you're doing skirting boards, you cut them down to the right size for people. So yeah.
Did you always get your measurements correct, Dade?
Yes.
Good boy.
Yes. And then they got the building weirdly got taken. They were going to close, and then the building got taken over by an American company called Staples, which you would know here from Jude.
No way.
Yeah. So I worked for Staples, the stationery shop firm in the UK, and I knew it was obviously an American brand. And I worked in the reprographics department, so all of the design elements and photographic printing and things like that. So invites, business cards.
Oh, actually printing the stationery for these.
Yeah, I was designing them as well.
Ah.
Like when everyone's like, what? What do you mean you've done these jobs?
I know, right? Another really good, funny one that I did when I was at uni, when I was thinking this is, do you remember timeshares?
Yes, sorry.
I was selling timeshares.
Where?
From an office above something, a building, and I would work from 7 till 9, 3 nights a week, and I'd get a bonus if I managed to get people that were going on holiday onto a destination. I'd actually get a bonus if I could get them to come from their wonderful beach retreat and go and view a potential timeshare property, whereby you would obviously entice people to like invest in a property that they would share for and have like other people in on it. And I was doing that. I remember thinking, I was really good at it as well. But I remember thinking, like, God, the things I did, I mean, I hate calls like that when they come through. So God only knows what people must have thought of me. Terrible.
Like you some jobs you just like, you just forget about some jobs that are out there as well. And you're like, you think of different things and you're like, oh, that is somebody's job. Yeah.
It is somebody's job, exactly. Yeah. What else have we done? Oh, this is a good one. can I finish off with this? This is my last one.
Oh, okay. I've got about 20 more.
So Dave, tell me about another one of your jobs that you've done.
So didn't go to university myself. Tried to apply for drama school. Wanted to be an actor. An actor. Through my late teens, going up to drama school auditions was just too much after so much rejection. I'm like, I'm out. Like I just got. That's why I respect so many people who are in that profession so much. You just have to keep going and keep going and keep going because one day it will happen. And I was like, at the age of 19, I realized because they get going, you need more life experience, and I'm like, I realized I did now. You need a lot of resilience as well to be an actor. So one of my favorite ones. So I got a job working for IBM in London.
Hot noodle.
if you haven't, don't know what that reference is, go and watch season 2, episode 1 over random incidents, and you'll hear a story about IBM. So yeah, I got that, which is great because it was like a great London job, and I moved up to London. But obviously, I still needed extra money because I was living in London. So I was working at a local bar, which was great. It was a restaurant during the day, which I worked at the restaurant. Terrible waiter. Like I'm just not good at balancing things, right? Good behind the bar, terrible at carrying things. But they used to have then a rave upstairs after the bar closed, and like all the locals knew it was there. I didn't used to work at the club upstairs, but yeah, it was this very beautiful restaurant downstairs, and then this random club upstairs.
It's so British as well, isn't it? When you've got like one building, but it can be turned into several. I remember it. Or you'd go into those places where you'd go for a big dinner. There'd be a massive group of you. You'd eat first. And then when you were younger, you thought it would be a really good idea to eat a load of food, get really heavy, and then go upstairs and start drinking a whole array of cocktails and stuff in the club up above.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wouldn't want to do that now. Well. Yeah. But one of the other ones I did, apart from because I did a few bar jobs, until I ended up at a gay bar in Clapham, which was great. But that's where yeah, I was. It was called the Casbah, which is near between Clapham Common and Clapham North.
I know that we used to go to the Casbah.
I may have served you a drink.
Oh my God. It was one of those kind of like where you go when you're kind of at the end, like it's either a daytime drinking thing if there's a thing going on at Clapham Common, like an event at Clapham Common, you'd find yourself there.
Yeah.
I've got some, now that's really amazing because we used to go there quite a lot. I can't believe that. I wonder what year you were there.
You know, like they used to have the videos on the wall?
Yes.
I used to mix them together.
Oh my God. This is why we do what we do, Dade.
Which, like, I love being a video jockey because it was like playing music and like getting the crowd going. But that's when that led onto my DJing.
What? Whoa. So you were a DJ?
Yeah, DJ Neo was my name.
DJ Leo?
Neo. Yeah. Like
why Neo?
The Matrix was out, so I thought it was a very cool name. Very Makes out sense. There, techno, because I started with techno, but that's where I ended up on like Head Candy stuff over the years. But
that's how we fell in love.
That's how we had this conversation over that. But yeah, like I still was doing my IBM job at the same time.
Oh my God. So by day I'm a suit, by night I'm a party DJ.
Party DJ. Yeah, no, they used to have like 3 bars. One they had Casbah, Escape Bar, and Q Bar. 2 were in Soho and 1 was in Clapham. And I used to be rotated around depending on when they needed the DJ.
That's crazy. I can't wait to go home and tell my husband that we've done this podcast today and that I found this nugget of information from you, because that was somewhere we used to go quite a lot.
It's such a fun place.
SW4, that's the event I was thinking of.
Yes, know it well.
We used to go there every year, come rain or shine or more rain. We would be there.
Oh no, it's such a good event as well.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have any other jobs that you've done?
Oh yeah, sorry, we digressed. I got into the Clapham stories. Yeah, the last one I thought of that came to mind was, and I do you know what? I just cannot remember how I got this job, but I was working for APTN, and I was
What is that?
Associated Press Television News,
Okay.
big company. I think they were like global, and the job I had to do was basically transcribe the content that they were going to air so that when you have subtitles. So I was the guy that was typing in the verbiage that was being spoken so that it would populate as a subtitle on that particular show.
That I wrote. But um but look at it though, in how far that's come now is you can press a button on your phone and it will add captions to it.
Right, exactly.
But
But back in the day,
back in the day, when we were a few years younger, these were the jobs that we had.
we took what we could get. But the thing is, I can't remember how I got that job. I obviously didn't do it for very long because it must have been mind-numbingly boring for me because I really have such a vague recollection of even doing it. But that definitely did happen. It was up there. It was one of the first jobs I think I did in London before I got into like the publishing world, which is when like proper work started.
And I
But
think
yeah,
IBM's my proper one, but then I was excited. Well, look, I did project management, event management, so I did stuff in that kind of vein, but it's not as exciting as some of these other ones.
no, everything, I think it's all part of your story, isn't it? These are all
Absolutely.
stepping stones that everybody has to start somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And I
And that's the
think,
thing is that when I got to Australia, when I lived there, my first job was working in an event company with weddings. So I had to do organize weddings.
wow,
Mm.
that's another thing we've got in common. I did that for a bit over here. A little stint of wedding planning. Yeah.
Dade and Jude's wedding coming to you soon.
Oh, I mean, we would, oh my God,
Event
Dave, would be
planning.
amazing.
Like, they would be organized.
So organized. The attention to detail would be meticulous.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that'd be, maybe we should chat about
side
it.
hustle. Everyone's looking for a side hustle these
Can't,
days.
can't at the moment. But is there any jobs that you wanted to do when you were younger? Obviously, I told you about I wanted to be an
Yes,
actor.
that's a great question. And yes, the one job I always wanted to do but never did was be a bartender.
Really?
Yeah, because
Why?
I don't know, like I'm really organized and I'm quite quick on my feet. But I think the problem with me was that I would always want to be on the other side of the bar, wanting to be
Yes.
the person having the fun, not the person making the drinks.
I would say working in a gay bar in London back then was always still a lot of fun
Yes,
for the staff as well. Because people
yes,
buy you drinks, you
yes.
get drinks for free anyway, so didn't used to worry about it. But yeah, and like being the DJ, getting the party started on a Friday, like
Yeah,
it was such a fun
it
environment.
sounds
The
it.
only
It
day that
sounds
wasn't fun was like Sundays, unless it was Sunday Fun Day. So,
and then it was fun.
and then it
But
was
did
fun
you
again.
have to clean the toilets in that
No,
role?
no,
No? Wow,
no,
that's amazing.
definitely not. No restocking, and that's the thing. I used to run between the bar and the DJ and stuff.
So you would literally rock up, do your thing,
Yeah,
switch over, make everybody in the bar have an amazing night, feel good music. Oh yeah, come
yeah,
on. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that sounds like I think you obviously had a great employer as well, because a lot of employers, they're like, no drinking behind the bar, don't accept drinks, don't, it's a shared tip situation. It sounds like you had a really good.
The bar doesn't exist anymore, so I can speak freely of this.
Good. And what about you? I have to ask the same question back to you. Was there any job that you didn't do that you
I
would?
remember you remember when you were at school and they're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? There were two jobs that I wanted. One, I wanted to be a trainer for the guide dogs for the blind.
Oh,
Because I just loved the puppies and I thought I could do something good of training them to be
that's
able to help other people.
lovely. I love that, Dade.
Or a fireman.
Very different, but still saving.
Right? It's yes. Do you know
Still
why
saving.
I couldn't do it? I wasn't allowed, like they told me at some job fair I wasn't able to do it.
Why? Oh God, job fairs. Do you remember them?
Yeah, job fairs, like
Yeah.
because my eyesight, because I was wearing contact lenses at the time, and they said you need
Oh,
20/20 vision.
yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't think that's such a requirement.
Is it not?
Well, obviously, you can get your eyes corrected, but I don't know whether they would just go, you wear glasses, you can't be a fireman.
Yeah, it seems quite, yeah. Wow, a fireman. Well, Dade, you'd be a great pin-up fireman for your fans.
Let's this be my fan. There's only one.
Oh, I don't think that's true. This has been so
Are
great.
you good at interviewing though, Jude, for jobs?
Do you know, I used to feel very confident in interviews, but I have to say that as time has gone on, I think I would be less confident, but I'm definitely more, I think I was able to talk the talk
Yeah.
quite well. And I think I'm quite personable. So I think people could like see me fitting in and blending well with other people and working in teams quite easily, which I do think I was good at doing. But I think I don't think I wouldn't say that I would always walk into an interview situation and feel confident that I would get the job. I think I would deliver myself well and hope for the best. And probably 70% of the time I would get it. But there were a couple of things I really wanted that never came, but it was right. I wasn't experienced enough.
And that's the thing, like, my company currently has me for a very long time because I just don't like interviewing. Not
No.
like, for this job, I interviewed 6 times.
Gosh.
But I know I'm very personable. I know my background, so I can talk about how to link things together. It's just the preparation. It's like, where's it gonna go? Oh my God, I can't forget this one and this one and things like that.
And it's that moment when they ask you that question. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Or if you'd had this company or you were in this position, what would you do with it? And you're like,
is that the face you pull?
That's when the sweat starts pouring. When we talked about the beads of sweat, everything's like kind of like, you know.
Our anxiety one. If you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. From the last season.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, look, it's been a fun conversation. We've learned a lot again.
I really enjoyed this one. It's been brilliant.
We are actual friends, just to let you know. Like, this has just been an exploratory thing that we've been able to do, and we just keep unraveling and not unraveling. Let's not say that word.
No, but we're unraveling in each other.
Yes, we are finding out more and more about each other, which will bring more to this podcast, which we actually really appreciate you watching and joining us. Please make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we know you watch it, but you're not subscribing. So please do that. But this has been another random chat with Dade and Jude. I'm Dade.
And I'm Jude.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.